Retailer is a business enterprise that is engaged in the sale of goods and services directly to the ultimate consumer. Provide credit facilities. So these retail traders, they will be the first ones to provide the credit facilities. The retailer will be selling goods and services to the ultimate user of the goods, that is the non-business user. Hello everyone, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. In this session of Chapter 10, Internal Trade, let us have some more discussions on what is international trade and what is retail trade. Now we all know that the retail trader is the one who sells to the ultimate consumer, and he will be buying in smaller quantities. He will be in direct contact with the customer. He will have almost all the latest market information, and he will be the one who will be doing the market survey on behalf of the wholesaler. Now let us see what this slide tells us. So retailer is a business enterprise that is engaged in the sale of goods and services directly to the ultimate consumer. So whoever is the ultimate user of the product, to him this retailer will be selling the product. So it is thus that branch of business which is devoted to the sale of goods and services to the ultimate consumers for their personal and non-business use. The retailer will be selling goods and services to the ultimate user of the goods, that is the non-business user. Then next, retailers serve as important link between the producers and final consumers in the distribution of products and services. So he is an important link between the producer and the final consumer in the distribution. As I told you earlier, so in the channels of distribution, we have this retailer. So without the retailer, the consumer cannot get the goods whatever he demands. So they provide useful services to the consumers, wholesalers as well as manufacturers. Now these retailers, they provide services to the consumer. So what kind of service he may give? He may give home delivery of the goods, he may give credit to the consumers, he may update the consumers about the uses of the product. So all these kinds of services are given by the retailer to the ultimate consumer, and he will also be giving services to the wholesalers as well as the manufacturers. Now let us see what are the services of the retailers to the manufacturers and wholesalers. Now here in this, he tells us that he helps in the distribution of goods. Now we know that the manufacturers, he will be engaged in manufacture of goods and services. So he will have little time for marketing or selling. So what he will do, whatever he is manufacturing, he will be selling it in bulk to the wholesaler. Now this wholesaler, depending on the type of goods which is demanded by the consumer, he will be selling these goods to the ultimate retailer, and who in turn will be selling it to the ultimate consumer of the product. So in this way, the retail trader, he helps in distribution of goods. The next service of the retailer is he will engage in personal selling. Now what do we mean by personal selling? So in this personal selling, it will be the retailer who will be talking to the ultimate consumer about the product, the uses of the product, and how the new product has come into existence, and what are the benefits of using the product. So all these things he will be telling the ultimate consumer, and he will be engaging in personal selling. What is personal selling? It is nothing but the salesmanship. Through his salesmanship, he will be just pushing the goods to the consumers. Then enabling large scale operations. So whenever these retailer traders, there will be lots of retail traders who will be engaged in selling to the ultimate consumers, and because of their efforts, they will be selling lot of goods to the consumers, ultimate consumers, and in this way they will be helping in large scale operations. So they will be creating a demand for the goods through their personal selling and advertisement. So the next important service is they collect market information. So since these retail traders, they will be dealing with the ultimate consumers, so they will have first hand knowledge of the consumer's tastes and preferences, what the consumer likes, what he doesn't like. So he will be doing a survey and he will be passing on the information to the wholesaler as well as the manufacturer. Then next one is he helps in the promotion of goods and services. So the retailer, he will be just having a very good window display of the goods in his shop, and when he does that, it attracts the attention of the customers and they will be buying the product. So in this way, he will be helping in the promotional activity, as well as he will also be seeing that these products get more publicity, and he will try to see that the products get sold to the ultimate consumers. In this way, he will be helping in the promotional activities of the consumers. Next, what are the services he will be rendering to the consumers? So regular availability of the products. So whenever the goods are purchased by the retailer, so he will be purchasing it in a fairly large quantity to ensure that there is a continuous supply of goods to the customer whenever he demands for the product. Then next one is new products information. So whenever new products come into the market, the retail trader, he will be giving an update about the new product to the consumer. So new product information will be given to the consumer. Then next one is convenience in buying. So the retailer, he will be buying in fairly large quantity, but he will be selling as per the convenience of the consumer. So whatever is the demand of quantity for the product, so he will be giving it whatever quantity is demanded by the consumer, and in this way he will be making it convenient for the consumer to buy the product. Then next one is wide selection. So the retail trader, he will have a array of goods and services whatever he has. Suppose it is a washing soap, so he will have almost 10 to 12 brands of washing soap, and if it is any other product, so for each product only he will be having 10 to 12 brands which are there, so that the customer is free to make a choice of the product. So he will be giving a lot of wide selection to the consumers. Then next one is after sales service. Now what do we mean by this after sales service? This after sales service refers to, say, he may just give home delivery of the products, and second one is if there are any electronic gadgets, he may help the consumer in installation of the product, or if there is any repairs which have to be taken up, then he may also ensure that the repairs are done in time whenever the consumer demands for the repair of the product. And lastly, provide credit facilities. So these retail traders, they will be the first ones to provide the credit facilities. So he will be having a personal relationship with almost all his customers, as a result of which he may, with the help goes, he may become more familiar with the customers, friendly with the customers, and as a result of which he may extend them the credit facility also. Then next, let us look into what are the various types of retail trade. Now, the different classifications have been used by experts to categorize retailers into different types. Now, what are the different types of retail trade? So, on the basis of the size of business, they may be categorized into large, medium and small retailers. Now, so we have this types of retailers based on the size of the business. So what is the amount of stock he is maintaining? Based on that, we can classify these retailers as large retailers, medium retailers and small retailers. Then on the basis of the type of ownership, they may be classified into sole proprietor, partnership firm, cooperative store and a company. So based on the type of ownership, so we have studied in the forms of business. So we have different types of forms of business, that is a sole proprietorship, partnership, cooperative society, or a company. So depending on that, we can have this retail business, and on the basis of merchandise handled, we have different classifications like specialty stores, supermarkets, and departmental stores. So based on the quantity or based on the different types of goods they handle, so it may be classified as the specialty store, supermarket, or the departmental store. Then on the basis of classification of whether or not they have a fixed place of business. So there is the retail trade can be carried on anywhere. So he need not have a fixed place of business. So based on that also we have a classification of retail trade. So on the basis of whether they have a fixed place of business, we have this itinerant retailers. Now who are these itinerant retailers? Now, on the basis of whether we have the fixed place of business or not, we have the first kind of the retail business, that is the itinerant business, and second one is the fixed shop retailers. Now, let us look into what do we mean by itinerant retailers. Now, in itinerant retailers, they are traders who do not have fixed place of business to operate from. They keep on moving with their wares from street to street, place to place in search of customers. So these itinerant retailers, they do not have any fixed place of business. So they may have a push cart, or they may have a small van or something with which they will be selling their wares to almost all the doorstep of the consumers. And these retailers, they will go in search of the customers. And what are the characteristics of these itinerant retailers? Firstly, they are small traders operating with limited resources. So very small traders. So morning he'll go and buy the goods, and by evening whatever he makes profit, that he will retain it for himself, and the rest of amount he will be investing in the next morning. So in this way we should understand that these retail itinerant retailers are small traders who operate with the very simple amount of 1,000 rupees or something. So they will be investing in the morning, and within the evening they have to sell the products. So they normally deal in consumer products of daily use such as toiletry products, fruits, and vegetables. So usually the local vegetable vendor who comes near our doorstep, near our house, so he is an itinerant retailer. So he may engage in selling fruits, vegetables, or toiletry products. All this he may be selling. And then the emphasis of such trader is on providing greater customer service by making the products available at the doorstep of the customer. So these itinerant retailers, they see to it that they give the products at the customer's doorstep. So he will be just roaming around with the wares in his vehicle, or on his head he may be carrying this whatever wares he has, and then he will be just seeing to it that the customer will be satisfied by bringing the goods at their doorstep. So this is one of the most important services he will be rendering to the ultimate consumer. Then, as they do not have any fixed business establishment, they operate from these retailers have to keep their limited inventory of merchandise either at home or at some other place. So whatever limited amount of merchandise they have, so they will either keep it at home, or they may keep it at some place where it is convenient for them to sell. As and when the goods get sold, so they will have to replenish those goods. So they will be keeping it at home or at a place which is convenient for them. Now, let us look into what are the different types of retail trade. Now, in this first one, we have the peddlers and the hawkers. Now, if you can see in this picture, we have lot of peddlers here. So, some are selling cooling glasses, some are selling purses, some are selling clothes, purses, bags, etc. So these are the peddlers or the hawkers. So they will be just standing on the footpath, and they will be selling all their wares, whatever they have. So these hawkers and peddlers we can see everywhere all over the town. So one thing is, they make the goods available whenever at the convenience of the consumer. They usually deal with fruits, vegetables, and they will be dealing with low quality products which are of very low value but which are of use to the customer. So whenever we buy goods from them, we have to be aware about the quality of the goods and the prices for which they will be charging from the customer. So these peddlers and hawkers, they are an important chain in selling. Next one, market traders. So these market traders, usually they open their shops on the weekends. So wherever we have the Santee day, so on the weekends they will be putting up the shop, and usually they will be dealing in one particular type of product. So it may be fabrics, or they may deal with steel utensils, or they may deal with the commodities like rice and sugar, or only vegetables, or only fruits. So they will specialize in one particular item of product, and in this way they will be selling their products. So wherever there is a market on a Saturday or a Sunday, they just go there and just open their shop, and they will be selling the goods. So these type of traders are called as the market traders. Now the next type of traders are the street traders. So these street traders, they will be usually operating on the pavements of where the floating population is the highest, usually near the railway station or the bus stand, where there will be lot of people who will be moving around, and they will be usually selling stationery items, or fabrics, or flowers, or fruits, vegetables, etc. These street traders are different from market traders. So they do not change the place of business. So every day they take up the same place, and they will be selling the same products every day. Then the last one is the cheap jacks. Now who are these cheap jacks? So these cheap jacks, they have independent business in a busy locality, and they will be usually dealing with watch repairs and various other small kinds of services which they will be rendering to the consumers. Now these cheap jacks, they will be there in a busy business locality. So these cheap jacks, they keep on changing the place of business, but they do not change the place of business as frequently as the street traders or the peddlers. So this is about the retail trade. Hope you have all understood what is retail trade in this chapter, that is internal trade. Thank you.